As you may have heard, the Boston area is in the middle of a beer renaissance these days, from old standbys like Harpoon to relative newcomers like Night Shift, Trillium, and Notch. There's a local beer for almost every palate and a brewery for nearly every neighborhood. Now a new arrival in downtown Crossing wants to add another ingredient to Boston's beer scene: politics. Adam Reilly has more.
The first clue that Democracy Brewing is different comes not from the tap, but from the walls, from this mural boasting the Massachusetts motto to the photos in a function room at the back.
The pictures we put up are all really inspired by heroes from Boston's past. We have the suffragettes, we have the Fighting 54th. This actually comes from the Tufts strike that the nurses had, and they actually came here for an event.
James Raza is Democracy Brewing's co-founder and CEO, a former community organizer turned entrepreneur. He wants this new brewery in downtown Crossing to become an incubator for political activism, a role he says pubs have played since the first shots of the Revolutionary War.
They waited and waited, and the British never showed up. So half of them went home, half of them went to the public house, hung out. Sure enough, the British showed back up. They might add a little liquid courage in them to take on the English at the time.
And there's another way in which Democracy Brewing wants to give beer culture a political twist. It's a worker cooperative owned and run by its employees, each of whom can buy one equal share after they've been there a year.
Most poor people, frankly, work at very successful companies. The problem is they just don't get access to the wealth that they actually create. Even though I'm the founder, if you're a busboy who's been here for a year, we actually get paid the same amount when it comes to profit.
For workers, that means increased earning potential. And Baker Ernest Brown says an unusually egalitarian ethos.
I think when you have a team-playing atmosphere where people have that ability, they tend to bring a lot more ideas to the table. So I think here everybody gets that. They have their own ideas. Nobody's idea is invalidated.
None of which will necessarily matter if the food and beer aren't good enough to keep customers coming in. At lunchtime on a recent weekday, business was a bit slow. But when brewer and co-founder Jason Taggart gave me a discreet sample of Democracy Brewing's Suffragette Pale Ale, I was ready for more.
Just finishing fermentation, so it's not quite carbonated or cold.
That's nice, though.
Thank you.
Very nice. Which is exactly what James Raza wants people to say as they have a pint and then try to change the world.
You can have endless meetings with folks, but if you want to get stuff done, you actually sit down one-on-one, have a beer, talk it through. And that's the best way to really get things done at the end of the day.
Adam Reilly, WGBH News.
Those ownership shares, by the way, run $3,000 a person, though James Raza says the brewery will help with financing for those who don't have that much cash on hand.